For the price of a Tesla Model S, you could own equity in a $5 million Napa Valley estate. RCLCO Real Estate Consulting has tracked fractional ownership properties since 2021. And fractional ownership is outperforming the broader luxury real estate market by double. This isn't just equity ownership. It also comes with 6 weeks of annual usage you can swap globally. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how this investment works, as well as real returns and the pitfalls that kill most deals. People think you need millions to own luxury vacation homes. The math seems impossible, but there's a fractional ownership model that just added a game-changing feature: global home swapping. This isn't your grandfather's timeshare, but you need to remember the 2 fees most owners forget about because they can kill your returns. Let's look at the traditional vacation home math. Using a real example, a typical luxury property in Napa Valley runs around $5 million. Your down payment alone would be $1 million. Now here's where it gets expensive fast. Looking at actual Pacaso listings, monthly owner fees typically run $1,500 to $3,000 per month. That depends on the property. That's $18,000 to $36,000 per year just in management and maintenance fees. Add property taxes in Napa County. That's roughly $50,000 annually on a $5 million property. We're looking at total carrying cost of $68,000 to $86,000 per year. And here's the kicker: second homes typically have much lower occupancy than primary residences. Industry data suggests most vacation properties are used significantly less than their owners initially plan. You're essentially paying hundreds of dollars per day for an empty house most of the year. Even worse, if you want variety, you need multiple properties. Want a beach house in the Hamptons? That's another few million. Ski chalet in Aspen? In 30 seconds, I'll show you the only 2 fees that kill most fractional deals. Before we go further, let's clear up one big misconception. Fractional ownership is not the same as a timeshare. With a timeshare, you're buying the right to use a property for a week or 2, but you don't actually own the real estate, and those contracts usually lose value the moment you sign. With fractional ownership, you're purchasing a deeded share of the property itself. That means your stake can appreciate with the market. You can resell it, even transfer it to heirs. In short, timeshares are usage rights that depreciate. Fractional ownership is equity that can grow. This is where fractional real estate ownership steps in. But the traditional model has major limitations. You buy 1/8 of a property. You get to use it 6 weeks a year. And that's it? Pretty limiting, right? But companies like Pacaso change the game by adding global home swapping. Here's how it actually works as an investment. You buy your 1/8 share of that $5 million Napa property for around $100,000. That gives you approximately 6 to 7 weeks of vacation time per year, with up to 6 advanced stays and minimum night bookings. But here's the investment breakthrough. You're not just buying vacation time. You're buying appreciating real estate. Your $200,000 becomes equity in a $5 million asset. When that property appreciates by 10%, that's $500,000 in total appreciation. Your 1/8 share captures $62,500 of that gain. In a year where appreciation holds at that rate, that's effectively a 31% return on your initial investment. And unlike stocks or bonds, you can actually use your investment while it appreciates. Instead of being stuck with the same house every time, you can trade those weeks with other owners across their entire global network. Your Napa weeks could become a month in a Tuscan villa, or 2 weeks in a London townhouse, or a ski week in Park City. This creates what I call investment utility. You're building wealth through real estate appreciation, while extracting lifestyle value that would cost tens of thousands if purchased separately through luxury vacation rentals. Let me break down the real math. Remember that $5 million Napa property with $68,000 to $86,000 per year in carrying costs? When 8 people split those costs, you're looking at roughly $8,000 to $11,000 per year for your share of management fees and taxes. Compare that to equivalent luxury vacation rentals. Premium properties in Napa run $800 to $1,500 per night during peak season. 6 weeks would cost you anywhere from $33,000 to $63,000 per year, just in rental fees, assuming you could even book the dates you want. Quick question: would you swap Christmas in Napa for New Year's in London? Coming up, I'll show you the peak week hack that most owners miss. Now let's talk investment performance, because this is where the math gets compelling. According to our RCLCO Real Estate Consulting's resale study, fractional properties in key markets have seen approximately 10% annual appreciation since 2021, compared to roughly 4.9% for the broader luxury real estate market. Here's what that means for your investment. On a $200,000 fractional stake, 10% annual appreciation generates $20,000 in paper gains per year. Over 5 years, assuming consistent appreciation, your investment could grow to over $320,000. That's a 60% total return, or about 10% annualized. But here's the key difference from other real estate investments. You're getting immediate capital appreciation plus lifestyle cost savings. Remember those luxury rental rates of $800 to $1,500 per night? 6 weeks of equivalent rentals would cost $33,000 to $63,000 annually. You're essentially getting substantial annual cost savings while your equity appreciates. This creates what economists call a dual return stream. Capital appreciation plus lifestyle cost savings. Traditional real estate investments give you one or the other. Rental properties generate income, but you can't use them. Personal vacation homes you can use but generate no income. Fractional ownership gives you both, with the lifestyle benefit being a bonus on top of equity growth. The swap program amplifies this investment value through diversification. Instead of betting on one market, you're getting exposure to property appreciation across multiple geographic markets. If Napa softens but Jackson Hole heats up, your swap network gives you access to both markets' performance characteristics. Coming up, the RCLCO stat everyone quotes and what it actually means for your investment timeline. Here's what completely changes the investment equation. Fractional ownership is to real estate what ETFs are to stocks, a smart way to access top assets without breaking the bank. Consider it from a portfolio building angle. For the same $200,000 you'd put down on a single traditional vacation home, you could potentially buy fractional stakes in 4 different markets: Napa, Jackson Hole, the Hamptons, and Scottsdale. You're spreading your investments across different places and types of properties. If luxury property values grow at 10% a year, while stocks only generate 8% growth, you're ahead by 2 points and gaining a vacation vibe. But here's the real investment advantage. You're accessing institutional quality real estate with individual investor minimums. Buying a $5 million property means massive upfront cost and a lot of risk. But what about fractional shares? You get less exposure, but still high appreciation, plus built-in diversification. Except your investment comes with tangible usage rights. Think of it as the middle ground between owning a rental property and buying into a right. With a rental property, you might get income, but no personal use. Our EITs offer exposure without control. Fractional ownership gives you equity and pro-management. But you also get to vacation using your investment. The RCLCO data shows something fascinating. Fractional ownership properties are gaining value quicker than single-owner ones. Why? Because fractional ownership attracts more qualified buyers. Properties are professionally managed with institutional-grade maintenance, and there's built-in demand from the swap network. You're not just buying real estate, you're buying into a managed appreciation system. But here's what most investors miss: the tax advantages. Your fractional ownership qualifies for the same tax benefits as traditional real estate investment: property tax deductions, depreciation schedules, and potential 1031 exchanges for tax-deferred growth. You're getting institutional quality tax treatment on a $200,000 investment. There's a little regulation twist happening that no one seems to mention, and it might just affect your investment, as regulatory pushback is real and growing. Now let's address the investment risks that could impact your returns. Sonoma County and St. Helena are putting limits on short-term rentals and fractional ownership because they're worried about housing availability. European markets are also buzzing with talks of extra taxes for foreign property owners. Liquidity can be tight as resale platforms have fewer buyers than regular real estate. Market downturns could also impact your ability to exit when you want. Fractional ownership is all about long-term equity growth and enjoying the lifestyle, not just a quick flip or rental option. Also, there are 2 fees that kill most deals: transaction fees on purchases, which can run 3 to 5%, and management fee increases over time. Most agreements allow annual fee increases tied to inflation or market rates. A property that costs you $8,000 per year in fees today could cost $12,000 in 5 years. Remember, the RCLCO appreciation data represents gross returns before these fees and transaction costs. What about those management fees, usually 2% a year, plus the costs when you buy and sell? Your net returns look more like 6 to 8% annually. Still solid, but not the headline number. Successful fractional owners see it as a way to grow equity over time, with lifestyle savings as a nice bonus, rather than a pure financial play. If you're buying primarily for quick investment returns, traditional REITs or real estate investment trusts might offer better liquidity and lower fees. If you're interested in more deep dives into alternative investment strategies, make sure you subscribe, because I'm analyzing markets most people don't even know exist. So here's what we've discovered. Fractional ownership lets you enjoy luxury properties without breaking the bank. The math works when you factor in both cost savings on vacation expenses and potential property appreciation. RCLCO's data suggests solid appreciation in key markets. But remember, past performance doesn't predict future results. The real value comes from lifestyle access and cost arbitrage on luxury vacation experiences. The regulatory environment is evolving, transaction costs are meaningful, and liquidity is limited compared to traditional investments. But for qualified investors who plan to hold long-term and actually use the properties, the value proposition remains compelling. This represents a fundamental shift toward platform-enabled access over traditional ownership, part of the broader trend toward alternative assets becoming mainstream investment options. The fractional ownership model, with global swapping capabilities, is expanding access to luxury real estate experiences previously available only to ultra-wealthy families. Whether it makes sense for your situation depends on your timeline, your liquidity needs, and how much you value lifestyle flexibility over pure financial returns. Remember, this is educational content only, not financial advice. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and you should consult qualified professionals for investment decisions specific to your situation. What other alternative investments would you like to learn about? Subscribe for more deep dives into unusual asset classes.